Hello and welcome to round 3 of the top 16 of the UK National Championships, hosted at the UK Board Game Expo at the end of May. My name is David Paterson, and on behalf of Netrunners.co.uk, we are pleased to present to you Chris from Exeter there on the left-hand side playing Kate, and we have Marc there from Barcelona playing classic NEH. I say classic, obviously we've been playing a lot of it in the last year or so, but obviously with the prevalence of Kate, more and more players have been slotting the clot, as it has become affectionately known as. And obviously with the prevalence of clots, NEH has taken something of a hit, though not perhaps quite as much as we would have expected to see. Certainly doing very well in a couple of regional championships before this tournament, notably the Oxford Regional, where Samuel Pay navigated a kind of a quirky fast advanced style deck to fame and glory, winning the Oxford Regional. I believe it's sporting Trick of Light rather than Botic Labours, but nevertheless it was fairly the same. Marc there taking the early mulligan. Apologies again for the shaky cam vision on the table. I've said this in every one, and I'll say it again because everyone keeps responding to it in the comments. The tripod was on the table, unfortunately, and due to a rather large crowd of players floating around spectating the top 16, there is a lot of shaky camness. I'll do my best to try and sort that out for the next tournament, but I figured you guys would still want to see some good old top 16 UK national action. So these guys have come through the winners bracket, which means they've won both their games. I believe in double elimination that means that they're both pretty much guaranteed top 8 now at this stage, though it'll be, again, obviously the loser will still drop down into the losers bracket, although obviously at this stage to call them a loser would be a disservice. Marc is going to install, obviously drawing up with NEH's ability. Looks like he's got a little bit of ice there in hand, and I say whether he's playing the butcher shop or fast advanced, time will certainly tell. Going to be starting off, of course, with the draw. He's going to run R&D first click and see the Enigma dropping a click. Not particularly what he wanted to see there, but he will sure gamble and pass the turn back over to Marc. So Enigma will keep him out for the time being until he can get that up. We're going to res and Marc accounts and put 3 on it. A little bit of drip economy. And certainly a very unappealing target. Looks like he's going to run HQ and see nothing. These guys are going fast, so bear with me while I try and keep up. He's going to bounce off the wraparound. There is the clot, so it's in hand, which isn't necessarily ideal, but he's going to play it out from hand just to kind of stop any shenanigans from going on, as well as playing out the same old thing and pass the turn over and a mandatory draw. He's going to install the Jackson, drawing up another card, another piece of ice there, it looks like. Is that a Data Raven? It is indeed a Data Raven, so at which point we're probably looking at maybe having some fast some butcher shop style action. Looks like he's drawn into a few agendas as well. I've seen at least 2 NAPDs there, so looks like he's probably going to draw up with Jackson and try and ditch them from hand into archives, as is the classic Action Jackson play. Action Jacks, yeah, you know the one. And again, both these guys having done incredibly well, both in Swiss and now in the top 16. Again, the winners bracket, they've won a lot of games in Netrunner, folks. So I do apologise if there are any mistakes, if that's the case. These things do happen. So he's going to ditch some cards. Looks like he's drawing them to a lot of economy, but no prepaid voice pads, which I'm assuming he's running there with the lucky finds that he has in hand. He's going to play Data Sucker, and he is going to run archives, at which point Marc will use the Jackson Howard to put 3 cards back into R&D, presumably there the agendas that he'd drawn up fairly early. He's got no means of punishing them really at this stage. I'm not sure if he's got a mid-seasons in hand, or even if indeed he is playing mid-seasons. I suspect he probably is, having seen the Data Raven in hand already, but certainly Chris doesn't have that knowledge at this stage, and I think playing the clot out probably a sensible way to go. So 1 off of the marked accounts and a mandatory draw. We're going to start off with a hedge fund, gaining lots of money, and suddenly now the threat really is on there from a mid-seasons. And he does have to be a little bit careful about pulling that an NEPD or anything of that nature. He's going to ice up all the servers, try and prevent Data Sucker from gaining any real leverage there. So another piece of ice on R&D and on archives. We're going to draw, and there is a prepaid voice pad, which we'll get for 1 because of the discount for Kate, and he's going to lucky find and take all the money and pass the turn back over to Marc, I believe. I think that's it, yep. So Marc will gain 1 off his marked accounts, and he will draw. And I'm not sure what he's seen there. Can't quite make out what they've got in hand, but I think he's now hasn't seen many agendas, given obviously that he's ditched them all into archives and a hedge fund as well, so plenty of money now, and really at the point now when mid-seasons becomes a threat. That being said, Chris, we know, does have another lucky find there in hand, which I'm assuming he's probably going to look to play after playing out that prepaid. Oh no, sorry, it's quality time. I take it all back. Interesting. So let's see what he goes and digs for. At least that clot there on the board causing problems. Although will the clot and the data sucker make too tempting a target, I wonder? That is the question for a purge to trash the clot. A lot of fast advanced decks running Cyberdex trials and all things of that ilk. Cyberdex, you know the one I'm talking about, the upgrade. He's going to play out a hedge fund there, Bob looks. Sorry, a short gamble rather. Ditch some cards, ditching the stim hack, and passing the turn back over to Marc, who's going to draw up an AstroScript into hand. Not sure if he's got the ability to break it at this point, but it's got to be tempting here to at least try and score it. He's got no breakers, no SMCs. You've got to assume he's got a little bit in hand, but at this point in time, Marc's probably in a pretty good place to think about trying to go for the score. Double ice install would be very tempting. I'm not sure what he's done. He's just taken money, at which point Chris will install Cerberus. Again, these guys are going incredibly fast here, so bear with me while I try and keep up as well, ladies and gentlemen. So the lady goes down. Obviously, it's a fantastic Eli breaker, and it will get through that wraparound for a counter, which I don't think he's going to mind too much, to be honest. There's a legwork, so it's probably good timing. It's going to cost him a counter to get through, and we know there's already an Astro in hand there. Can he pull that out of hand? That's the question. He's going to see 3 cards, so let's see what he pulls. Card number 1 is a Scorched Earth, so at least he knows what he's running against now. Mid-seasons, and that is... Oh, another mid-seasons! So he does miss the Astro there, which is a touch unfortunate, but he does know at least now what he's up against. And if he does score an agenda, he is going to want to see his Plascrete in a rather short order, I'm guessing. NEH obviously able to burn through those Plascretes with a combination of traffic accidents and Scorched Earths. He's going to install another piece of ice over HQ there, and looks like he's just going to take some money and pass the turn back over to Chris, who will draw first click. Seeing a Diesel in hand, looks like he's probably going to play that Lucky Find out. Oh no, sorry, I take it back. He's going to play a Clone Chip, and then he's going to play a Lucky Find, which makes good sense. So lots and lots and lots of money now, as often is the case for prepaid. And is now in a good position, hopefully, to be able to stop those cheeky AstroScripts from being scored. That being said, I think Chris now knows exactly what the score is in regards to what he's playing against. There be Scorches in them hands, or at least one at the very least. So he has to play cautiously here, and he has to make sure he's either A, ahead on economy, or B, got some protection in the form of Plascrete. Whether he's running Plascrete, of course, at this point is a whole other kettle of fish. Has seen there the SMC, but looks like he needs his console first, probably an Astrolabe, as often is the case with these guys. Playing the SMC out for the same old thing out. He's got 2 same old things, so certainly he's got a decent amount of threat there with regard to the legworks. But he's got no way of breaking through that Enigma still at this stage until we can get that SMC on the board. But on the bright side, Marc hasn't been able to press the advantage, particularly at this stage either. Still 0-0 obviously at this stage. But the more money Marc gets, the more challenging this perhaps could become. That's another sweep in hand there by the looks of it, which I think he's probably going to check and play. Yeah, he will indeed. And there's the beauty, really, of Butcher Shop in all its glory, is that kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Those sweeps for 4 credits, an extra short gamble if you like, can cause real problems. And so that's his 3rd prepaid voice pad there, which he'll get for his 1 credit discount with Kate. He will Lucky Find for all the monies, and phenomenal value there, obviously. He's going to draw and see another short gamble. Loads of money, but not probably what he needs here. Looks like Marc's going to sneak out a cheeky one. There is the AstroScript. Nothing Clock can do about that one. And now, all of a sudden, the game is truly afoot. Obviously, if he purges, Crystal has the Clone Chip on the board to be able to recur that clock at its instant speed, if you excuse the magic colloquialism. And lots of money now. I mean, again, it's a case of, do you go for it? Do you risk the mid-seasons? He's definitely ahead on economy here at this stage. I think those green ones count for 5s, so he's definitely ahead on economy. It looks like he's going to Parasite the wraparound, obviously, which is at 0 strength because of the lady being on the board. He's going to short gamble, and he's going to pass the turn back over to Chris. Turn it back over to Marc, sorry. So, again, Marc in a better position now with that scored Astro, and that is the threat of Butcher Shop. It is, if you do leave them to carry on and don't check those remotes because of fear of mid-seasons, they will just Astro train their way to glory. It's going to install and advance that card after having, I think, put 3 on Marc to counts, and you've got to assume that's the NAPD there. And Again, these guys checking their credits to make sure that they're in, in the right kind of place, mid-seasons wise. I'm not going to do the math for them at this stage, but these guys have played a lot of Netrunner at this point, and inevitable that mistakes may possibly be made. Looks like he's going to same old thing, a legwork from hand. I'm going to guess. Sorry, same old thing, a legwork from the heap, rather, I should say. And just to check, I guess, whether he has anything else in hand there. I'm guessing not, though. I'm guessing, he's already seen 3 cards. I'd be surprised. I don't know. We'll see. He's not going to res the ice, so he's obviously feeling like that's not the case. Let's see what he pulls. He's going to roll some dice. Number 3, he'll see a traffic jam. He'll see another mid-seasons, and he will see a scorched earth, and that's a hand you don't want to see there. Not a lot of fun. He's gonna have to start scoring these agendas. He can't possibly leave them. You've got to assume that's probably the data raven. I'm guessing that it's going to be. Let's have a look and find out. Or maybe not. It's another enigma, so he will lose a click and he will have to pass the turn back over. Oh no, sorry. He's going to clone chip out, of course. Clone chip out the parasite. And instant destroy it with the data sucker tokens. He will score out the NAPD, and I think at that point he's going to have to pass the turn. And here comes the math point of the game, where you have to check to see if you are able to mid-seasons him to death. And obviously with nothing in hand, with no Plashcot on the board, rather I should say, the Scorched Earth and the Traffic Jam will in fact be enough. All he's got to do is land these tags, but I don't think he's got the money to be able to do it. He's going to take a credit. I think Kate has probably stayed ahead of him here economically, and they are going to have to check here because the 1 credit came off the marked account, so he's still on click 1. I don't think he's got enough for the kill here, which is why I believe Chris went in feeling safe to take the NAPD. These chaps will do a quick bit of math now to try and figure out whether that is the case or not. Obviously with that clod on the board now, it's going to cause problems for him astroing out Astros, but at the same point, now that the clone chip's gone, maybe he does have the fast advance out, so to speak. It's only 2 points all, and although he may not have the kill in hand, I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to stay with the money and pass the turn over to Chris. And I don't think that's the wrong call. Again, I'm pretty sure it would have been a waste just to burn through all his cash. Kate able to get up there a lot faster with a levy or anything of that description to get his economy back in the deck. But now, all of a sudden, you kind of have to feel that maybe Chris has the edge here. He's going to dirty laundry the marked accounts and taking lots and lots of cash. I don't think he's going to bother trashing at this point. This game is no longer an economic battle now that mid-seasons play is pretty much over. You would expect Chris here to stay ahead economically for the rest of the game now. Again, particularly with prepaid Kate having the sheer volume of economy that it does. I'm going to ditch a sharpshooter, which again I'd be surprised if he needs. And another lady. So unless he's got a lot of Eli's in the deck, I don't think he's going to worry. It's all about the data ravens now. We know there's going to be at least a data raven. There's got to be a data raven somewhere, surely, there on either R&D or HQ. Only 1 data sucker token, so he can't insta-destroy it with parasites. I think he's just... Oh, he's going to purge virus counters. So that takes care of the clot. So he is getting ready now at this stage to maybe try and score out another Astro. And Chris here looking to try and find another clone ship. A test run, anything really at this stage you would think to try and get that clot back on the board. I do think here that Chris is probably going to be up against it from the fast advance, and you would expect here to see another Astro being scored on the next turn, just having to choose what cards to ditch. Going to get rid of the Maker's Eye, which is a surprise. I think I probably would have kept that and gone for a little bit of burst. He's going to sweep, so maybe he doesn't have the Astro in hand at this stage then, which is a surprise. But he's going to want to draw up fairly quickly, I think, in short order to try and get an agenda to score out here, and obviously an Astro being the key. There's the levy, so he does have the ability now to get that economy back in the deck. I don't know what he's digging for here. He's really probably got all the tools he needs to be able to put pressure on the servers. He is indeed going to play out that SMC, and again, I'd expect to see kind of some R&D attacks here, some Maker's Eyes, something of that nature. To try and lock him down and stop him from seeing those agendas. He's going to install, obviously both of them gaining an extra card for the privilege now because of Astrolabe being on the board. He's going to res the marked accounts and put it back on there. Chris obviously having trashed the marked accounts from the previous term, which I may have missed. Apologies. And again, these guys are going at a breakneck pace, so bear with me as I do my best to try and catch up. So the turn being passed over to Chris. Got another dirty laundry there, which I'm guessing he's going to use against that the remote server, taking all the monies. He's going to leave it there. I think he wants to probably keep that target open for future dirty laundries. Again, if he does decide to levy at this point, it is only 2 points all, so there is plenty of time to be able to maybe look at doing that. There goes the Gordian Blade, so he effectively now has the full breaker suite with the SMC out on the board, and an R&D assault looking incredibly likely. And again, Marc not seeing the agendas, I don't think. Looking to draw up the Astros. If he can kind of get the Astro train started, get another Astro scored, suddenly this game looks very, very different. But now Chris definitely got the upper hand here. He's got the full breaker suite and he's got the R&D pressure on the board. He's going to install clone chip, and there goes the anti-clot play. Clot now being able to be brought out with impunity. So suddenly Astroing out the Astro no longer looking as viable, unless he has the Cyber X somewhere there to hopefully try and get rid of when he needs to. But it's unlikely. Again, this guy is clearly running a butcher shop style deck. I don't think it's likely that he has the ability to fully fast advance, so to speak. So he's at full memory. Looks like he's gonna draw. He's getting ready to run R&D here. I think that much is obvious. But without any data sucker tokens, he's not in a position to be able to break through a data raven, which is telling, certainly, as the pad campaign, which I'm guessing he's probably going to leave. And the economic battle is starting to warm up again a little bit here. I don't think Marc has ditched any of the mid-seasons. Probably has the option here of being able to do that now. And it is going to be interesting to see if that's the case. He's going to install, drawing up a card. And obviously Chris will as well because of the Astrolabe. And looks like he's going to try and sneak out some advancements. So here we go. He's going to advance. Oh, okay. I guess not. He's just going to leave it. Or is he not going to leave it? Is the clock coming out? No, I guess not. Okay, interesting. So it's just install advance. He will index. And he wants to see all the agendas here. And again, obviously got a Maker's Eye in hand to be able to. He's not going to res that, whatever it is, which is fascinating. Again, I don't know where that Data Raven is. That's interesting. And if it was a Data Raven, you'd expect him to res it there. He's got no way of breaking the trace. And got the opportunity to put some lovely juicy tags on, although again, economically, the battle is looking a little bit tasty here at this stage. And will he see the agendas? You've got to assume they're there. There's no Jackson Howard on the board. So he's got no means of disrupting that indexing run, and it's going to be a case here to see how many agendas he actually may have seen off the top of R&D, whether we see a Maker's Eye or whether we just see a regular run with the R&D Eye. Obviously, he has the potential here of seeing 4 cards with that Maker's Eye in hand, and it looks like he is going to Maker's Eye. No, sorry, I take it back. He's going to install Clone Chip for free. So no way of being able now to... he's going to levy. Okay, so obviously not feeling like he's in a position to be able to get there. But now he's left the clot play open again, effectively. If he doesn't see an SMC or a clot, suddenly now Marc has the opportunity, the ability to fast advance his way to fame and glory again. So I'm not sure necessarily whether that was the right kind of time for his levy there. Let's see what he draws up. Nothing really. Doesn't look like. Certainly not the clod anyway at this stage. And this is going to be interesting now at this stage. I wonder if maybe using that levy at this point has shot himself in the foot a little bit. He's going to score the breaking news, and obviously he's going to leave him with 2 tags. at which point he's got traffic jams, scorched earth galore, and he's going to take the win there with no plasticrete able to put down on the board. I suspect it was only a matter of time. He wasn't able to score the agenda out, I don't think. At that point, Marc had probably got ahead of him on economy, and the mid-seasons play was very, very much on. So Chris dropping down into the losers bracket. But again, both these chaps now in a position to top 8, and Marc obviously doing incredibly well, waving the Spanish flag high, and hopefully again we'll hopefully see him again soon. So join us next time, folks, for more Netrunner videos, and join us over at Netrunners.co.uk for articles, forums, and more.